Hey guys, what's up? It's MatchPoint here, and in today's video, I'm going to be giving you 5 tips and tricks that you will need for Valorant. So if you do find this video useful, consider dropping a like on the video. And if there are any topics that you would like me to cover next, or if you do even have a specific topic that you are struggling with and would like me to cover it, well, make sure you comment it down below so I know to do them. Now I know this isn't the usual type of content, with it being not Rainbow Six Siege and instead Valorant, but as I'm sure you all know, if you haven't been sleeping under a rock, that Valorant is definitely taking the gaming scene by storm, and as well, a few people have requested for some Valorant gameplay on Instagram. And if you haven't already picked up the game yet with receiving that beta drop access, then these tips and tricks will come in useful and handy later on when you do. And as well, I did also stream Valorant very recently, and I'm going to be streaming it a bit more as it is a blast to play. And if you would like to catch me when I'm next live on Twitch, then I do stream on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays. There will be a link down below in the description if you would like to check it out. Make sure you do stay tuned for the whole video until the end, as the last tip is really a game changer for Valorant. Now the first tip that I'm going to be giving you is going to be regarding the minimap. Now if you take a look at the top left of your screen when you're in Valorant, and you will actually see a minimap. It's a full map of the game. Now this is extremely useful to you, and you should use it to its full extent, and there are a few hidden tricks for it as well. Now the minimap not only displays your team's location as well as their characters, but also the enemies. Similar to other games, when the enemy shoots, their location will be revealed on that minimap, and it can be very useful for gathering that extra bit of intel, and you can make rotations off of it. If you do see that gunfire being let off and therefore they're appearing on your minimap and they're pushing B, well, for example, you could rotate to there if you see multiple of them. In addition to this, certain abilities for different agents will be appeared on your screen, including Sova. This will allow you to see his recon bolt, and it can be very useful as you can let your team know this information, or even if you are on that site where you're getting pushed from. Not only does it indicate a certain push for a different bomb site, but it can also let you know that you shouldn't be peeking that angle in case you don't want to be revealed. Another hidden trick in regards to the minimap in Valorant is that the location of where you are at and the name of it will be displayed underneath the minimap. Now when you come to Valorant in the beta, as of right now, there are currently 3 maps, which can be quite tricky to learn if you don't know how to go about it. Which is why I would recommend you, for making callouts and specifying the different rooms that the enemy are in, I would recommend you to use that minimap. Look at the location and the name of where you are at and note it down. This can simply be a mental note and transferring it into that long-term memory eventually. And therefore, the next time there is an enemy in that room that you were previously in, you can give that call out for you and your team and give them the intel they need to know. Now I am going to be moving on to the second tip, which is going to be in regards to your eco. Now there is an economy system in Valorant which is similar to CSGO, where you're able to buy certain different guns each round and sell them, as well as purchasing abilities. Overall, it's very important that you do watch your economy, and you and your team should be thinking about this for each round. And often you may hear the term of "we should save this round," and if you don't know what that means, well, simply it just is that you should be picking a lower costing gun, for example a pistol, as often they are the ones that do cost the least. While you still have the potential to frag out and support your team with the abilities alongside that gun, the pistols can hold their own. Therefore, when the next round comes around, you are going to have more money, and this is simply because you have not cashed out on a bigger weapon, instead settled with a smaller one. And if you are to successfully win that round in which you chose to save, that is an even greater bonus, as not only did you take the point, but you also have a higher economy. There are many different ways to gain money, such as planting the bomb, for example, defusing the bomb, or the spike as it's called, as well as picking up kills, and also simply participating in the round, or if you win that round, an even bigger bonus. Which is why it can be important to save if you are on the back end of the game, as you're not going to be having a higher economy than the other team, simply because they are getting more money for winning those rounds. And a great tip that I would recommend you to do is, even when you have finished that game, and if you are attacking, for example, and you've killed all of the enemy on the other team, then you should be still planting that bomb if you are near the site. You'll have to be quick to do it, as it is going to require a few seconds of time and you don't have much left at the end, but if you do, it will increase your economy slightly. Now the third tip that I'm going to be giving you is going to be following on from this, and it is going to be in regards to selecting weapons. Now, like I mentioned before, it is very important to choose your weapons wisely, as you should be making sure you have enough for armor and a gun. Typically, this will be your preferred AR. But in addition to this, if you are going to be saving for one round, for example, and you do select a pistol, then if you take one enemy out, then you should be running over their body to go ahead and pick up their guns. It will automatically select their gun up if you do not have a primary weapon, however you can press F to pick it up. This way you're going to be equipping yourself with a better weapon, and as well you're saving that round, so you're going to have the higher economy. But not only this, at the end of a successful round, you should be running over and scavenging for any gun that you can find that is better or your preferred one than you've already got. For example, if I decided to save that round and at the end of the round when we successfully won it, I'm going to be looking for any ARs that I can get my hands on. So then I don't have to go ahead and buy it next round. I can then prioritise other areas such as armour, abilities, and even buying weapons for my other teammates. Now, the fourth tip that I'm going to be giving you is going to be regarding learning all of the different agents, which there is 10 of. It can be somewhat overwhelming at the start to an extent with how many agents there are, but once you get the hang of it and play a few games, you will really start to learn them. However, if you are looking to excel and become more advanced, I would recommend doing this. Before you hop into those games, I would recommend just playing around with the agents in a custom game, testing out their different abilities and what they have to offer. There's 10 of them, so you can give them a try. However, a few of them will be locked at the start, so you will just need to bear this in mind. There are many different operators with different playstyles and different types, so I would recommend giving them all a quick try before you find the one that you like. As well, simply on the main page with the agents displayed, you can take a look at their abilities and what they do as well. But if you really want to take it to the next level, I would recommend just hopping into a quick custom game and giving them a try out. It can be really useful to get your hands on them. As well, a few of the agents that do place down the walls to either block off areas or simply heal as well as block off, then I would recommend definitely trying them out in a custom game, as it can be tricky to get rid of the placement and get it correct when it's not giving you a visual of where it's going to be placed. This would include agents such as Phoenix and Viper, but however, Sage will show you where the wall is going to be placed. If you are struggling with an agent to pick and you're not taking any fancy to really any of them, then I'll give you some ones which are highly strong as of right now. For example, we do have Raze, which is my favourite, and honestly is fantastic and a little bit broken. Sage and Phoenix are also great agents to have on your team. However, the decision is really down to you, and I'm sure you shouldn't have much problem of finding one that takes a fancy, as there are many different playstyles for you to pick up on. Now, the fifth and final tip of the video is going to be regarding training your aim. In Valorant, it is going to take a bit of time and a few games to adjust to their aiming mechanics, as realistically you're only going to want to ADS on a few weapons when you're holding down those longer angles. However, for the most part you won't need it. But as well, Valorant favours those who are patient and as well who are ready. For example, if you are going to be moving whilst shooting, quite frankly, your aim is going to go everywhere. It's not going to be accurate at all, and it is going to favour those who will stand still when taking their shots. You might begin to develop a certain technique of tap firing, as you're not going to be wanting to hold it down all the way, as simply your recoil is going to be so high, which is similar to CSGO in a sense. Now, if you're struggling to train your aim and get used to it, then I would definitely recommend, even if you're not finding it hard to adjust to, also practicing your aim in the training grounds that they do offer. Valorant has one of the best, probably I've ever seen, areas for you to train your aim and warm up with various drills. There are many settings to choose from which you can adjust to make it harder and more difficult for you, but as well there are many different modes. You can practice your standardised bot training, but as well practicing from different distances and also various situations, such as defusing the spike and planting the spike. On the planting the spike ones, if you do set that difficulty too hard, then those bots are going to have some godlike aim and reactions, and it can be incredible to test. It is definitely doable for sure, as I've shown you in the clip, but also it's great for practicing your reactions as well. And that is going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you have all enjoyed. If you did, or you found this video useful, then make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe for more tips and tricks like this. Make sure to check out my recent video if you would like any more tips, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye. you.